Hello students, welcome to today's class. In our previous class, we looked at the topic Civil Society 1. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the topic Civil Society 2. Basically, under this topic, we'll get to look at the qualities of civil society and the problems associated with civil society. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain some of the qualities of civil society. You should also be able to list some of the problems of civil society. Let us start by looking at some of the qualities. One of the qualities is independence. They are independent of government. What that connotes is that civil society are not under the control of government. They are not established by government. They are not regulated by government. They are voluntary group who came together for the purpose of protecting the right dignity of citizens and also standing up for those less privileges or those who do not have voice in the society. Another one we look at that is also their qualities is voluntary. They are voluntary organizations, as they are willing to help and use their free time for the society's good in a productive manner. They are also a body that come up voluntarily. They sacrifice their time, energy, sometimes finance when the need arises to ensure that individuals in the society that are victimized or whose rights were violated, that justice is given them. Neutrality. They do not seek political power, but may have ties with political parties and the state. They are not in for politics. They are not politicians. They do not seek political power, but they have a very strong relationship with political parties, and they also get involved in policies that are made in the state. Sometimes they also have a way they come in to ensure that those policies are the ones that are made in the best interest of the public. The other one we look at here is mass action. They exhibit mass action that may either be developmental or destructive, depending on the prevailing situation. So they also come out in mass most of the time to speak against some certain things that are not okay in the society. It could be policies made by government. It could be actions by private sectors that is becoming a kind of dangerous, or that is affecting the citizens. They come together and they organize a mass protest to register their voice against such activities. The other one we look at here is civility. Members of the civil society organizations are always polite, kind, and concerned. They always come out to do their job without anything that will make them become hostile to the people. So they always engage the public in a polite manner. They also show kindness, and they are always concerned about issues as it concerns the public, and to ensure that it is resolved in the best interest of the public. Non-forceful, force or sanction do not characterize the civil society because they are based on individual freedom of choice. So they don't get involved by using force or sanction. This is not one of the things that is common with them, and this is another qualities that you have with them. They come out to engage the public on freedom of choice, and they are also leaving the public to make their choices. Their own is just to bring a particular issue or policy to the public attention, and then they also leave the public to make their choices whether or not they will accept whatsoever the civil society has brought to their notice. Another one is non-profitable. They are non-profit organization as they are charitable in nature. So they are not in for profit. Their major purpose is not to make money, because they are a kind of charitable body. Their aim is to ensure that everyone in the society are living a life that is expected of them. Another one is locality. Most of the activities of civil society take place locally and at the grassroots. So they are also there to kind of identify with those at the lowest level, to make sure that these people are given what is due them, and they are not looked down upon because they are from the low class. So they give voice to those who have need for one reason or the other to be heard. Another one is problems of the civil society. As with other organizations, civil society has its own problem. The problem of civil society, among others, include the following. One is ineffectiveness and unaccountability. There are many civil societies in Nigeria today that are not effective, and in some cases have no function to perform at all. There is now a trend that some civil society groups are mainly founded for getting grants from different sources that cannot be accounted for, especially in execution of projects. So what this connotes is that majorly most of the civil society are just there. They are not effective, they are not doing anything, and most of the time they are also not being able to account for the fund that is giving them through donor or through levy or dues that are members of those civil society organization has to pay. So most of the time they get involved in project execution, and the fund that is given them for such project most of the time are not used for the purpose of those projects. So some people just form civil society for the purpose of making money, which is also becoming one of the major problems of civil society. We must understand that this is not the purpose for which civil society is supposed to be formed. Another one we look at is indifferent behavior. The members of some civil society are indifferent towards the organization goals and objectives. They do not attend meeting of any sort and have nonchalant attitude towards the organization. So you have some indifferent attitudes. Some of them coming for one purpose or the other that is not in alignment with the purpose of the civil society. They are there maybe to get popularity or to have an opportunity to be in the news, or to be a kind of on TV or in the public. So they may have a different aim that is not really that of the civil society, and that has gone a long way to affect the function of the civil society. Another thing we have here is weakness. Some of the civil societies are very weak, which gives some leaders or government the opportunity not to engage or involve them in the decision making process and or implement their recommendations. So some of the civil society are also very weak, that government officials often a time ignore them or will not even involve them in decision making or consider their recommendations. So even when they come out to make a kind of want to get an attention to express a particular thing that is very, very important, the government could just overlook them and will not even consider whatsoever they are doing or saying to be anything reasonable. This is one of the problem of civil society. Another thing we have here is inadequate fund. Most civil societies are handicapped by inadequate fund for most of their operation activities and programs. Another thing they also have as an issue is funding. Most of them do not have any source for getting revenue or money to run their various programs, operation or activities, and because they are not under the control of government, so government will not even be concerned to want to contribute towards whatever that they intend to do. So all of these also have a long way to cripple what they would have intended to do. The other one is poor organization. Poor organization is one of the biggest challenge facing civil society, because civil society's members are usually made up of a large number of people drawn from different cadre of individuals in the society, and because large and diverse number of people are always difficult to manage. So another issue they have is poor organization, because they are people from different walks of life, and because of this, organizing them to have them do one thing become very difficult because of the peculiar nature of human being. Another one we have there is number 6 is fragmentation. It is difficult today to have and speak of a common and a well-informed civil society in Nigeria. Although they are all in existence, they are fragmented and divided across different sections of the population. So another problem they have is that instead of them all coming together to form one civil society that will have a voice, all of them are broken into different smaller group, and they are trying to push their own vision or dream at their own smaller unit or level. So all of these have a way it affects the effectiveness of the civil society. So this is all we are going to take in this lesson. In our next lesson, we'll look at another topic. I'll see you in my next class.